The Stoughton Vikings join us. We're bringing you tips for healthy athletes, and the Mad Rollin' Dolls are here in studio. All that and more, your local sports news starts now. Welcome back to the sports news. We are talking to a four-time Olympic gold medalist, WNBA superstar, and no stranger to an active lifestyle. This is Lisa Leslie who is joining us. Lisa, thanks so much for chatting with us today.
Yeah, thanks, Jessa, for having me.
So you have a lot of roles, obviously off the basketball court as well. An actress, model, and author, appeared on Celebrity Apprentice, serving as a sports commentator. A lot on your plate, but I
definitely have a lot going on. I wear a lot of hats, from sideline for TNT covering NBA, or being on We Need to Talk for CBS Sports Network. I've also been traveling around the country doing a book tour. My second book is now out, From the Court to the Boardroom. I recommend you get that at FromTheCourtToTheBoardroom.com.
Well, I'm sure that's a good read with all of your experience and everything that you have going on in your life. How do you manage with this busy schedule to make time for your family?
Yeah, you know, what I love about having these different jobs is that I really don't have to be somewhere from 9 to 5. I get a chance to be home more than I'm working. But the good part is it just comes down to balance, trying to figure out, you know, a typical day for me at 6 a.m. I'm up making breakfast and dinner and really preparing meals for my kids. Meal prep is something that I highly recommend. It's just a tough job to really make sure that you have these healthy foods for your kids. And so for me, that's really key. And I'll just tell you, I like to prepare things. You see there's fruits and vegetables here and some nuts in Larissa's Kitchen. Well, Larissa's Kitchen is a product that I really stand behind. It has 11 grams of protein in it. It is responsibly raised, grass-fed beef, no MSGs, is gluten-free. And so I talk about the balance of protein and carbs and making sure that our kids are getting the proper nutrients that they need every day.
And do you think, I'm sure it has, how has being a professional athlete kind of shaped your views on what's good to feed for yourself and your family?
Yeah, I think as a professional athlete, all I can think about is my trainer saying, get your protein, get your protein. You want to pack on your protein, especially if anyone does a workout. You have an hour window opportunity where that protein is really going to help your muscles. And so that's what I say for my kids, is that I let them sometimes look at products and look at the back and see how much sugar is in that. Is that really making a good choice? And when you teach your kids, we are their first teachers. We have to make sure that we're educating them to make some good, healthy choices. Reach for a piece of fruit as opposed to that packaged, you know, there's always fruit that's in package in some sort of fake juice or some syrups that they don't need. Have a real piece of fruit. I recommend it. It's good.
Well, I think those are great tips and really helpful. Just a few seconds left, any last minute tips you want to share with moms at home?
Yeah, absolutely. To find out more information, you can go to larissaskitchen.com, and these are the products that I really reach for. I love the Korean barbecue beef. That is definitely my favorite. And to get my book, again, it's From the Court to the Boardroom. You can find that on IamLisaLeslie.com as well.
Well, Lisa Leslie, congrats on all of your success. Thank you for sharing your health tips with us today. We appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me, Jessa.
We'll be back with more sports news coming up after the break.
You know, getting outside in the springtime is a wonderful thing, and it means so many different things to so many different people. And one of the great things to get outside and catch a track meet. Yeah, good stuff as we bring in the Stoughton boys and girls head track coaches. We got Trevor Kramalis and Eric Benedict who are joining us right now. And gentlemen, thanks for coming on in. Let's start with the ladies' side of things first. Coach Benedict, what can we expect from your team this season?
I think you're going to expect some really good, strong senior leadership. We have a couple really good runners coming back. Allie William placed third in the 400 last year at our state track meet. And some other seniors, Kendra Halverson, Maya Lanabatten, and Kylie Lynch. So, you know, it's strong, really good contenders in our conference, and hopefully pull through some state qualifiers as well.
Senior leadership, always good to have on a team. Now, I know, Coach Kramalis, you're pretty high on your team this season. Why so high? Why are the expectations so high for you?
I feel coming off of last year, we set the bar pretty high for ourselves, and we bring back a lot of experience. And with that, a lot of kids are hungry. They want to get to state. They want a conference title. So putting in a lot of good work so far this year, and I think they're really driven, and we're just having really high expectations for them.
Now, for both of you guys, what are some of the events that you think that your teams excel at? I mean, track can encompass so many different things. What events are you really specializing in this year?
I think our middle distance, our 400, 800 runners are both on both sides going to be pretty strong this year, as well as I think field events. I think our jumps, triple and long jump, will be pretty, some strong, very good athletes in them.
Yeah, how about on the boys' side?
Exact same. Middle distance, Nathan Mall's coming back. He was at state last year. We have Jackson Hampton. Distance, we have a lot of senior leadership. We have Garrett Model, Tristan Jenny, Owen Rowe. Definitely set the bar high for the younger kids to look up to some seniors. And jumps as well. Jordan DiMendetto, Sean McClary, Dwight Walker, definitely doing well so far this year already.
Now, it's always good to have some high, lofty goals at the beginning of the season. What are some of the goals that you're hoping to track down this year?
On the girls' side, I think we've won 6 straight conference titles. We're looking again to contend for the conference title meet. I think our distance program, coming off a strong cross-country season on the girls' side, I'm really looking forward to some of our younger runners, Anna Wozniak and Margaret Ross, and a freshman Grace Jenny coming in. Should be some very strong runners for us, but I think, strong contender in our conference meet.
And on the boys' side, you're going to break that conference title drought?
Yeah. 1981 was the last time the boys have won a conference title. So last year, Oregon had a really solid meet, and we came in a close third with Monona Grove, who this year is coming back stacked as well. So just looking at it, the boys know that they really want to get a conference title under their belt and then get some success in the regional sectional level and get as many kids to state as possible.
So much success with Viking sports, track and field, no different. Coaches, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
A special thank you to Conan Automotive in Stoughton for supporting local athletics.
Baseball season is upon us. They are playing everywhere. In college, they've been playing for like 2 months already. Major League Baseball's gotten underway, and they have in high school as well, as we bring in some of the players on the Verona team, as Jared, Tyler, and Jeff are joining us now on the Sports News. And welcome on in, fellas. You guys are fresh off a marathon battle against Janesville Parker, 16-inning game. What was it like to be a part of something like that?
Oh, it was crazy. The funny part about the game is Janesville, Craig, and Madison LaFollette played after us, so they started at like 10 o'clock. So it was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, going through that game was just wild. I mean, 16 innings, it's insane.
The best part about, I think, if you're going to play in a 16-inning game is to at least get the win, as you guys were able to do that. So have you ever been a part of anything, on any level that was a game that long, maybe even like video game baseball, anything that's ever been that long? You ever been a part of that?
I mean, I have personally. My JV season, when I was a freshman, we went 16 innings. And when I was on JV, I just wanted the game to be over, but this was like varsity, so obviously we wanted to win. But it was special, yeah. It was something I'll remember for a long time.
Absolutely. So as you guys move on in this season, what do you think some of the keys are if you guys are going to have a successful season?
Yeah, so some keys that we'll need to work on is hitting especially. We got to do a little bit better job at hitting the ball and just putting the ball in play. We got some good pitching, so that really helps. We got a lot of deep. We got a good defense. We got a deep pitching staff that we can focus on and hopefully take us far into some games.
Yeah, sometimes early on in the season when it's cold here in Wisconsin, hitting can be an issue. It's tough. But you guys are off to a 3-0 start. What are some of the reasons for that?
Just a good attitude in the dugout, just working hard, keeping everyone focused on the bench and just make sure everyone stays in the game.
Yeah, you got to be focused on that. So we talk about the areas that you need to improve upon. What do you think that you guys need to work on to get better this season?
Really, I think our main area, as we can all agree as a team, is our hitting. That's really been probably the place we struggle the most on. Obviously our pitching and defense have been really excellent so far, but if we can really get our hitting as a team average up, we're going to be a really successful team that can probably take us deep into a playoff run.
Yeah, I bet you as it warms up, the bats will warm up as well. So about 15 seconds left. Goals for this 2017 season. Where do you set the bar? What are your goals this season?
Well, last year, I mean, we had one game before we went to the state playoffs, and I think that's the step we want to overcome. I mean, it was really close, came down to the wire, and I think for us seniors, because we're all 3 seniors, I think that'd be one area we'd like to get over that hump and make it into the playoffs.
That would be nice, and in a very tough conference with Janesville, Craig, Sun Prairie, Middleton, some good ball being played in the Big 8 Conference. Fellas, thanks for being on. Good luck the rest of the way.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
A special thank you to Conan Automotive in Stoughton for supporting local athletics.
Welcome back to the Sports News. I'm Jessa Jeremiah, joined now by Hammer Abbey and A Magnitude 10, who are skaters for the Mad Rollin' Dolls. So pleased to see you ladies. How are you today?
Great, thanks for having us on.
Yeah, great, thanks.
Exciting things to talk about. Your final game of the home season is coming up just a little bit away, Saturday, April 29th, and it's even a triple header. So what can fans expect from this event?
Well, it'll be kind of a knockdown, drag-out, fun evening. We've got the whole afternoon. Doors open at 3:45. The first game starts at 4:15. Our recreational league is actually going to kick off the first game of the night, the Madison Wreckers, who are fantastic. That's where a lot of our skaters in Mad Rollin' Dolls actually train and sort of cut their teeth. So it's always super exciting to watch them play. Then we've got the third place game for the whole home season. That'll be between the Reservoir Dolls and the Unholy Rollers. And then the first place game, the championship, for the championship leggy trophy is what we call it. It's just a big leg in a skate. Will be between our 2 teams, the Quad Squad and the Vaudeville Vixens. And it's going to be a rematch from last year's game. Should be super exciting.
Oh my gosh. So your 2 teams playing together. A big event, and you said, what's the trophy? A leg?
It's a leg. It's a big mannequin leg with stickers from all past winners from the previous seasons on it and a golden roller skate at the bottom.
Oh my gosh, that's fun. Okay, so the first game of the day is called a Rexpo, is that right? What is that exactly?
You talk about the Wreckers.
Yeah, so we have the Wreckers. Like Hammer Abbey said, that's where most of the Mad Rollin' Dolls trained up. Anybody from any level can join the Wreckers, but this is going to be their highest level of skaters skating against each other in a bout-like scenario, or it is a bout actually. So that'll be really fun. You can root for the blue team or the yellow team. Both teams are going to be playing each other. So it'll be a really fun way for us to celebrate kind of people who don't usually get to bout as much. So it'll be really fun.
Oh my gosh, that's so much fun. Okay, and now this is going to close out your 13th season of roller derby. That's really incredible here in Madison. What then are you going to do for the summer?
Rest. No, actually, no rest at all. No. We are getting ready. Our All-Stars are actually already playing. Both AMAG and I are on the Dairyland Dolls, which is the team that travels and represents Madison internationally, really. We're ranked as part of this international organization called the WFTDA, the Women's Flat Track Derby Association. So we'll be traveling to Philadelphia in June for a tournament, and we'll have a tournament in Milwaukee as well this summer, all to try to get rankings so that we can represent Madison in the playoffs this fall.
Oh wow, that's great. So you stay busy all summer long.
Oh yeah.
No rest for you.
No.
Okay, but I want to talk before we go about some of the charity things that you guys have done. Every roller derby game has featured a charity with a portion of the proceeds going to benefit that group. So tell us about this game's benefiting group.
We're really excited that it will be going to fund a group called Wilma's Fund, which is part of the Outreach LGBT Community Center here in Madison. And they specifically work to raise money to help support LGBT homeless in Madison, doing things like just providing some rent assistance and a couple other odds and ends just to make sure people have what they need to make ends meet.
No, that's wonderful. Well, congratulations on really doing your part to give back. I think that's a really nice component of what you do. For folks who are interested in getting to learn more about roller derby here in Madison, whether they're on or off skates, what would be a good place for them to go?
They can go to madisonrollerderby.org. That's where you can find a link to the Wreckers, like we've been talking about, if you want to join in. You can also find a link at the bottom of the page to volunteer if you want to join some of our other crews who help us make bouts and everything else roller derby happen.
All right, well, it's so nice to see you guys, and just a huge good luck to all of you on April 29th. We look forward to it.
Thank you.
Skaters for Mad Rollin' Dolls, this is Hammer Abbey and A Magnitude 10. We're gonna have more sports news coming up for you right after the break, so please stick with us.
A special thank you to Conan Automotive in Stoughton for supporting local athletics.
Welcome back to the sports news. With me now, I have Natalie Decker. People are calling her the next Danica Patrick. She's a race car driver. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
It's such an honor to have you here. I want to give folks a little bit of a background on you. You're from Eagle River and you're only 19 years old. That makes you one of the youngest race car drivers professionally, let alone you're one of the very few women who are racing on a professional level. Such a huge accomplishment, I have to say. And you got some other really exciting news. You just signed with Venturini Motorsports, one of the best ARCA teams. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's super exciting. I just signed with Venturini Motorsports with N29 Capital Partners sponsoring me. And my crew chief back home with my Super Late program helped out a lot because he worked with Venturini Motorsports. And it's a great deal. I'm super excited.
That's awesome. And you're going to be pretty busy this summer, it sounds like. You're doing a lot of racing. Where are you going to be?
Yeah, we're going to be doing about 30 races with our Super Late program. And then 3 races with Venturini Motorsports, and that will be in Toledo, Elko, and Pocono.
Wonderful, and you've got one coming up, it sounds like, in Madison as well.
Yep, that will be with my Super Late program with Kyle Willisek is the crew chief, and he also spots for me, so.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And really, it sounds like a lot has changed for you recently with all of the different sponsorships and becoming part of the Venturini team. Who is helping you get to that next level?
My parents definitely helped me through everything ever since I started racing. And then, like I said, Kyle, we brought him on this year and he helped. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be where we are. And also with N29, they are the ones who are making it happen.
Absolutely, and I know you mentioned a couple different racing teams. What's different about your race team, Natalie Decker Racing, and Venturini Motorsports?
Well, Venturini Motorsports is an ARCA team and they're one of the best. And that will be traveling all over, kind of following the NASCAR circuit. And then my Super Late program is just back in Wisconsin, more so the Midwest, and that's more just a local thing.
I love it. You gotta show love to the hometowns, right?
Oh yeah.
And now you're only 19 years old. I can't even imagine. Your future is so bright. What does your career path look like in the next few years?
Well, hopefully in the next few years, I'll be at the top level in NASCAR. That's been my goal ever since I started racing at 9 years old.
Absolutely amazing, and you're definitely on the right track, will I say, to get there, for sure. And how can more people find out about your teams?
We have a website, nataliedeckerin.com, and I also have a Facebook, Natalie Decker, Instagram, Twitter. You can follow me on all the social medias.
And so now, Natalie, like I mentioned, 19 years old, one of the only women who are racing professionally at this level. What is it like being a part of a sport, being a woman?
It's great, actually. I've learned a lot because I've been doing it since I was 9 years old, and there's the ups and downs of being a girl, but I've learned how to gain respect.
Yeah.
And that is the biggest thing.
Absolutely, and the best thing you can do is win those races, right?
Oh yeah, that is the best way to get everyone's respect really fast.
Absolutely, and you've certainly done that. And now preparing for all of these different races, what do you do to prepare and really train?
Well, I try to work out every day, and it's really working out and hydrating a lot before a race. And then mentally, I kind of get in my car a little earlier and strap in, have my dad or Kyle get my belts real tight, and then I just kind of sit in there and focus.
Is there a lot of driving beforehand when you train for these races and possibly different tracks?
Yeah, we'll go and test a few times here and there, try new things. But other than that, you show up the day of the race and they may only give you 20-30 minutes to practice.
Wow. What's going through your mind before every race starts when you're about to go?
That is the hardest thing to explain. I have no idea. Usually trying to make sure my hands are right on the steering wheel.
That's good.
Before the green flag goes. And whatever my spotter is usually telling me is what's going through my mind.
That's perfect. And now I also want to mention again, when you are going to be in the area, May 28th, you're going to be at Bratfest. And it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun for people to come visit you. What are all you guys going to have?
Yeah, we're going to have our race car there. It's going to be after a race, so hopefully it's not torn up or anything. But it's going to be great. I want everyone to come out, take pictures, get autographs.
And they can even sit in the car?
Yeah, well, if you're smaller than me or my size, you can definitely fit in there. Otherwise, probably not.
Perfect. And again, Natalie, where can people follow you if they want to stay up to date on everything that's happening in your life?
You can follow me on nataliedeckerink.com.
Wonderful. Again, Natalie Decker, thank you so much for being with us and can't wait to see what you do.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, and we'll be back with more sports news right here on Wisconsin's 57 Television after this.
Welcome back to the sports news. We are talking with some impressive folks today. Olympians Ashton Eaton and Breanne Tyson Eaton are joining us, talking a little bit today, not so much about sports, but about leukemia and lymphoma. And we're so glad to have you joining us today. Thanks for sharing your stories with us.
Thanks for having us here to share it.
So both of you, obviously with an impressive athletic career, recently announcing your retirement and you're beginning work with LLS and Team in Training. If you would, talk to us a little bit about Team in Training and how you got involved.
Yeah, so Team in Training is a group that raises money for blood cancer, and they encourage people to get active. People can pick anything they want to do, from running marathons, doing triathlons, to climbing, to raise money for leukemia, lymphoma, and myeloma. So all you have to do is go to teamintraining.org and you can learn more information to sign up to do your own cool events.
And that's great that it's you make it so easy to sign up, and what a wonderful opportunity for folks to get involved. What do you think is special, particularly about Team in Training in terms of just training for charity for sports?
What's special about Team in Training is they were kind of the catalyst for this model of fundraising back 30 years ago, and now they're expanding it to include things like hiking and cycling and swimming, and really opening it up to people who maybe don't feel like running is their thing, or they don't want to run or can't run, to these other opportunities.
And it's nice to mention too that if you're not a trained Olympian, obviously, you can take part in Team in Training. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the really cool thing. Even if you want to do a marathon, but you can't or don't want to run it, and you want to try walking or even a half marathon, you can still sign up, and downloading the app will help you find a coach in your community and training groups. And because there are so many people involved in Team in Training already, you're bound to find somebody in your city that has the same goals as you are, and you can train together.
Let's talk specifically before you go about how Team in Training is really impacting the quest for cancer cures, the real reason that you guys are involved in this.
Absolutely. So, I mean, if you think about any company who really wants to push the envelope, they need a lot of research and development. And that's the same thing with cancer. I mean, this disease is a dynamic one, and it's hard to find a cure. So people need to use the resources to find cures for these things through research. And Team in Training over the last 30 years has raised $1.5 billion to support those people and those research programs.
Wow, that's a really impressive number, and I'm sure will continue to grow from here. Well, thank you very much for sharing your work with us and sharing your time.
Absolutely.
No problem. Thanks for having us.
We appreciate it. This has been Ashton Eaton and Breanne Tyson Eaton, Olympians, joining us for the sports news. We've got more coming up after the break.
Brought to you by Conan Automotive, taking care of you by taking care of your family's car.
Thanks for joining us for the sports news, and a special thank you to the Red Zone Sports Bar in downtown Madison for supporting local athletes. For sports, music, and the best pub grub in town, visit the Red Zone. I'm Jessa Jeremiah for the sports news. Please join us next time.